So we figured it's about time that we got a little bit of a look at old Joe Dredd himself and see what you get inside the box. And we've had a look at the core game and a few other aspects of the game. We've done kind of an overview of a lot of the releases from Wave 1 and Wave 2. But as yet we have not broken seal on most of these expansions. So what better than to kick off with the big man himself, old Stony Face. Now, there is a host of incarnations of Dredd, if you like, even though there has been huge continuity throughout the 2000 AD stories in its lifetime. Joe himself has gone through a number of reincarnations, for the want of a better word, because the design of Dredd has evolved as tastes have changed, as artists have changed. Everyone's brought their own sort of slant to it. So whilst there is kind of a loose consensus about what Dredd looks like, bar, of course, his face, which no one ever gets to see. Don't talk about Stallone. There isn't a be-all and end-all. Except at a sort of a fan level. I think every kind of fan of Judge Dredd has an artist who's kind of their favourite. Therefore, the Dredd that they see in their head when they think about Dredd usually tends to kind of be based around that. I know that counts for me, and I know it counts for a lot of 2000 AD fans that I chat to as well. So, whilst this is a Dredd figure, should it be the last? Probably not. It's not the first. There have been several other metal and resin Dredd miniatures in the past too. So, I suppose the bottom line is, there's really nothing to dictate to you what Judge miniature you use for Judge Dredd. This is the one Warlord have gone with. That's fine. That's their call. And that's neither a criticism nor an endorsement, okay? I like this figure. And that, I suppose, is all I can say. I don't not like it. But it's not my incarnation of Dredd. It's certainly not the vision I have in my head when I think about Judge Dredd, nor is the bike one. But, of course, they are playing with a license. They have to keep Rebellion Publishing happy and all the rest of it. So, obviously, a lot of the stuff, a bit like any of the other companies that are doing like Doctor Who games and things like that there, you've got to keep the people who own the license happy and they get final approval. So, you know. But I think there have been ways and means that little things have been slipped in that represent the past too. The modern Lawmaster, Lawmaster Mark III, I think, has the bike cannons, doesn't have the laser because of reasons. This one just never personally pushed the buttons for me. It doesn't have the charm of the Mark I or the Mark II. It's because I'm stupid and old, and I'm stuck in the past, and I resist change. That being said, the miniatures I quite like. I quite like the sculpts, and the detail on it can't be faulted either. So inside the box, we get a blister pack anyway. Okay, we get a blister pack as well. Do you want to know what it says in the back of the box? Do you care? You probably didn't get to read it. Let's have a little quick look, see what it says in the back of the box. From India's megacity, one citizen, there can be no greater symbol of law than Judge Joe Dredd, not even the Statue of Judgment itself. The mere mention of his name is enough to give the most hardened criminals pause. Dredd has been appointed a temporary member of the Council of Five on several occasions. They're like the governing body of the judges. He's only truly content when patrolling the streets, dispensing law directly, and his well-known dislike of bureaucracy keeps him away from the Hall of Justice. If it is true that the man can be measured by the quality of his enemies, Dredd will take some beating. Over the years, he has clashed with chief judges, trans-dimensional denizens of Dead World, super agents of the Sov Block, necromancers, powerful mutant precogs, and yet it's probably safe to say that from Dredd's perspective, bringing each one of these individuals to justice is no more important than the prosecution of a citizen for littering or a Jew for spraying graffiti on a wall. Everyone is equal in the eyes of the law. This box contains 2 Warlord Resin Judge Dredd miniatures, 1 Warlord Resin Lawmaster bike, 2 character cards, 1 armory card, electronic override, and one Big Meg card. Drop it! No, don't drop the card. That's what the card's called. So, inside our box, and you can probably already tell from your comfortable seat with your bowl of cereal or your mug of coffee, that's one big bike. It's huge. It is significantly larger than the Cadet Lawmaster, which I think we've showed you. We put pictures up on the Facebook page. Hey, why don't you go and check the Facebook page? Not now. Do it at the end. No, actually do it now and come back. Otherwise you'll forget. And when you're there, you can click like. Yes, so we have one rather humongous, very chunky Lawmaster, which almost pops together without a flaw. That's a big brute. Like, you know, there's no getting away from it. That's big. To the point of almost ridiculous, but there we go. I can't get over how much larger this is than the other one. I mean, this literally makes the other one look tight. The other one must be probably less than the size of the body part of that bike. I don't have it to hand. Forgot the 4 P's there, but, you know, don't just take my word on it. Little bit of cleanup needed. Not an awful lot. The shield details are all very nice. The tire details are there. All the engine block and pipework stuff's there. Guns, front eagle, computer display. All looking very good in that respect. And we've got our handlebars there. And then we've got Joe himself. A little bit of flash. Flash? Do you get flash in resin? I guess you do, because there is some. But yeah, that's not a bad figure. It's not like you can read his name on it. So it's a judge. Like any judge could, I suppose, be Dredd, really. Unless it's one of the specialist judges. But I guess it's the pose that they're giving you is fairly unique so it can stand out on the tabletop or whatever. But yeah, that's okay. As always, a little call out to our packer. Hello. Big salute to the packers. You do good work most of the time. Do good work most of the time. There's a backhanded insult. Phew, wait, watch your next parcel come on. It'll be a slap in the face for you. The rider then is a little sort of 3-part job. I gotta say, I like the rider better. That there is a certain bit more, I don't know, dreadiness about the rider, and the off arm is separate. Not sure why. Not sure why the off arm is separate for any particular reason. It doesn't make an awful lot of sense as to why that's the case. Maybe there was the idea of giving you another arm, like an off-arm firing, or maybe there'll be another kit of judges on Lawmasters that might become an option. I don't know. I'm doing an awful lot touching my face this morning. I do apologise. I have sanitized my hands, but I still just realised you're touching your face an awful lot. Stop it. You're making people uncomfortable. It looks weird. So yeah, okay. We get the basis, of course, is for that chap there. So yeah, that's quite tidy. And as we say, it's a sizable mini. Nice couple of figures with it. Obviously, you can remember that in the game you can dismount from the vehicle. So whenever you are getting around to adding your rider, unless you're running out and buying multiple Lawmasters, you probably don't want to glue your rider into place. Whether you can use a magnet, whether you can use blue tack, or something like that, there's probably an idea, because there are times in the game where you will literally want to have the rider off, using the bike under AI, And it just saves another token on the board, because if you have the rider glued on and you've dismounted to run about on foot, you're going to have to put a token on the bike to indicate that it is now on-ridden instead. And, you know, people have trouble remembering things. Like me, I have trouble remembering things. So I won't be gluing the rider to the bike. If that, there we go, done. So our cards. Oh, packed by the same packer. That doesn't often happen. Quite often it's two different packers. You've been a busy soul. Fair play. So we've got electronic override that can be used with hunker down. And that's it. It just says electronic override. We'll open any door. So there we go. We haven't actually got round to using sort of doors and that. We haven't played the scenarios where there's been locked stuff. So I haven't got round to needing and like that there yet. But now we can. We've got the stats for the Lawmaster. And you can see a proper Lawmaster picture on there. Probably not allowed to say that. But I'm saying it because it's true. Transport and support, Justice Department judges, enemies, lawbreakers. AI generates its own action chip just like another model. Despite its cool of 4, only ever generates a normal action chip, not a star chip. I think they're undervaluing the true capabilities of a lot. No, they're not. Be too powerful. So you get drop it to add to your decks as well. Play on an enemy model within 8 inches of a friendly model. Enemy must pass a cool test. If they fail, they may not make any attacks during the next activation. That's nice. And of course, we get the stat card for old Stony Face himself as well. Move a 6, shoot a 5, fist a 5, evade a 4, resist a 5, cool of 5, and notoriety of 35. So he is literally a one-man army. So there we go. That's Dredd, basically. There's no point labouring the point. We don't need to hang about talking all morning about stuff that doesn't matter to your world. That's a look at Joe Dredd. So hopefully that helps you decide if that's a figure you either want to have just to paint up for the sake of the fun and games that provides, or if you want to get it in the hope of getting into the tabletop miniatures game as well. And of course, you can use it in other tabletop miniature games too, because the more games you play, the happier your life. Simple as that. Okay, folks, that's it. With that, we shall roll credits and leave you to a happy day. We shall catch you later. As always, please subscribe, give us a like, give us a comment. It's nice to stay in touch. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.